has been and still is heavily reliant on the tourism factor for a lot of income and for a lot of business. It seems as though they're also heavily reliant on the construction industry. Is Tobago too reliant on the construction industry for some level of cash flow?
Well, we want to balance the thing, and we definitely with the tourism, as you know, we're all on tourists coming out from our Tobago Carnival. Some of the numbers were exciting. We were all upbeat on that, and we were looking forward to those kind of events. But when we look at the tourism, we look at the domestic tourism, we've seen there's an uptake in that. The villas are being fully booked as we move ahead, and some of the hotels, and then they do have the bookings going forward. So we could focus on the domestic tourism to a bit, but we want a game changer. We need something big. We need something happening in Tobago that can really give us that big stimulant. And that's why we spoke about that Scarrow development project. That's why we spoke about that direct flights coming in, international direct airlift coming in to Tobago. And those things are game changers, and those are the things that you need to kind of that's a big stimulant for the economy. The other things that keep us on a daily or month-to-month basis are just projects that we need, more projects to be given to local content so that we can have some sort of stimulant happening. But all in all, the central government and the THA need to have meaningful dialogue. Without proper dialogue and planning, we really won't get forward.
Has this been expressed, by the way, to the THA?
Of course, we expressed our concerns to the THA. We propose to have meetings in January, early January. We propose to have our first meeting with the Tobago House of Assembly, because these are the things we want to discuss at the table. We don't want to fight, no fighting and war and all that. We're not into all of that. We're into business to bring the island to a level where we can have everyone here comfortable in the standard of living.
Mm-hmm. Now, in regards to Tobago, quite frankly speaking, would you encourage businesses to invest in Tobago if businesses that have investments in Tobago themselves are struggling? Is Tobago really an avenue or a focus for investment, or is it really struggling?
Yeah, we are open for business. I mean, there's a lot of nice real estate here, and we encourage all our business partners in Trinidad and even investors to come in and spend. There are lots of opportunities here, and we so encourage it. Definitely, there's a lot happening here, and we encourage you to come across, give us that spend, and we will be more than welcome.
Now, I want to focus on another huge issue, and you've mentioned it at the beginning of the program. I don't know what is happening to Tobago, which was peaceful, calm, in regards to crime. Yes, this double murder this morning on Milford Road, approximately 1 a.m. What is really happening? What about the business and their concerns in terms of Tobago's security? Has there been any sort of consultations or conversations with the Tobago division?
Yeah. And you're correct. We really much concerned about that level of crime happening. I mean, that's what, 3 murders within 24 to 48 hours. We had a domestic issue, and that was resulted in a murder. Then we have this double murder this morning. We are much concerned. We normally around Christmas time, there's a lot of activities happening. We had 1 and 2 little break-ins and so forth. And we have been educating our members to be careful, even in movements of cash, etc., on the island and so forth. We also have been in consultation with the ACP here, Hazel. He started off his posting here excellent. He met with all the players, and we give him our concern. But we asked the commissioner, and she never make an official visit to Tobago. And we asked her if for 2024, early 2024, if she can come across, make an official visit to Tobago and meet with some of the important stakeholders, the Chamber, the Business, the Commercial Hotel Association, and meet with us, and we could discuss some further plans as we go forward.
Is this gang culture of which Trinidad is so accustomed to spilling over in Tobago? Is this what is really affecting Tobago's security? And how is that even impacted upon businesses? I know you just mentioned even in regards to cash flow, but beyond that, is this now having a huge impact upon business and business activity?
definitely it will. When you look at some of the feedback from these murders recently, I mean, some of the folks here are really, really concerned. They're much concerned. I myself is much concerned about the level of crime on the island in terms of those murders. I mean, one murder is just too much. We're not accustomed to that. We're tranquil and peace and easygoing, and now we're hearing double murders. That's thing that don't happen here. So I mean, this give us. I mean, most folks waking up this morning are in a bit of shock as to what's really happening on the island. So we need to. So the police service, the TTPS, and the other law enforcement authorities need to step up the game. It's Christmas time. We come in and we know that the activities is building up. So we ask that the law enforcement and the TTPS others to come together and really give us some sense of comfort as we go through this season. Because we want a really good Christmas.
Well, Mr. Williams, I know that you've mentioned so many factors this morning that you would like to see happening in 2024. Greater dialogue between central government and the TG, a greater initiative being taken, especially with some of the recommendations that the Chamber has put forward in focusing on new investments in Tobago as well. In regards to security in Tobago, an official visit on the part of the Commissioner of Police. Any other things that the Business Chamber hopes and wishes to see in 2024?
What we definitely look forward to, we know we will have a lot of conversations, a lot of meetings, but 2024 have to be an action year. We have been to numerous meetings gone, and we now want to see the action plan. Those were the strategic meetings, so all that was the strategic planning, so now is action. 2024, we as a business community, we need to see numbers moving in our books. We need to see things happening. We need to see the island getting that boost that we asked about. And so we don't want to continue with another set of talk shop and a set of meetings, but we want to see action now. Now is the time for action. Now is the time with the framework have to be set, and we now have to have that plan going forward in terms of action and delivery.
You really sound as though you're a man on a mission, Mr. Williams. But I want to thank you very much for always making the time to join us on AM Prime. And I look forward to further conversations in 2024. To you and to the rest of your membership, all the very best in the days ahead and in the year to come, certainly. Thank you so much, sir.
And thank you, and on behalf of the Chamber, the management and staff, the Tobago Division, we want to say thanks again and Merry Christmas to all of you, and we wish you a blessed and holy New Year. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Same to you guys. All the best, Mr. Williams.
Thank you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it from the president of the Tobago Chamber of Industry and Commerce, the division of the Chamber of Industry and Commerce, and really what is happening in Tobago. See, that level of dialogue between the Tobago House of Assembly and central government is crucial for fostering business and new business developments, new business ideas, as mentioned this morning by Mr. Williams. But apart from that, what is happening on the ground? Tobago really was a charming island full of sweetness. And the thing is that where a lot of these murders are taking place is where you would see tourists. Now, it may not necessarily be the timings, but 1 o'clock in the morning, you might not see that many tourists out and about. However, it really doesn't matter. Tobago, do not lose your charm. I know that the gangs are spilling over onto the island, but something needs to be said and something needs to be done. And before it gets out of hand and out of control, stomp it out. Ladies and gentlemen, we take a break on AM Prime.
It comes naturally to us. Unstoppable energy. We use it to manifest a future. A future where energy takes new forms and is used in new ways for all of us. The new age of energy is here.
Let the home store turn your house into a home you love. We offer household items, lawn and garden, paint center, hardware, plumbing, lighting and electrical, toys and storage solutions. And just for you this Christmas, come check us out for great gift ideas and all your Christmas decorations.
6 convenient locations: 6th Avenue Barataria, The Falls at West Mall, Pennywise Plaza Chaguanas, C3 Center Branch, Christmas Store at C3 San Fernando, and Eastgate Mall, Trin City.
Check out our Facebook page for more information and come visit us today. The Home Store. Turn your house into a home you love.
Simon's Musical Supplies Limited. We are the specialist in new and used musical instruments, carrying top brands like Yamaha, Pearl River pianos, vinyl and Sabian cymbals, Remo and Evans drumheads and Fender guitars, just to name a few. Also a wide assortment of music books, pan and accessories. At Simon's, we service what we sell. Trust the leader. Call us now at 625-6412 or visit us at 20 Board Street, Port of Spain.
Bill and Ruth fell in love with the Benjamin Moore color Dry Sage, but they tried to match it using another brand's paint.
I mean, it's close enough.
Almost identical, really. Yeah, there it is.
Never trust another paint to be a Benjamin Moore color.
Welcome back to the program, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for being with us this morning. Well, I've spoken to quite a number of business heads, and I'm welcoming one more to the program to have an understanding of what's taking place across the nation. I'm welcoming the president of the Greater San Fernando Business Chamber, Mr. Kieran Singh, with us virtually. Good morning, sir. Season's greetings to you.
Good morning, Keaton, and good morning to Trinidad and Tobago. It's been a pleasure to be on WESN this morning.
Well, thank you very much for joining us, Mr. Singh. Well, for the majority of the conversations I've had thus far, it's not necessarily doom and gloom, but it's not all that positive and all that well in regards to business and business transactions. What is happening in San Fernando?
Well, we have seen some increase in retail sales in downtown San Fernando, especially since school closed. But there was a general upward trend even prior to that, from the Diwali season, when we noticed a slight increase. Of course, prior to that, we had the back to school sales event. Of course, we had a lull in sales. And of course, coming up to Diwali, we had a more positive outlook on sales. And then we had the Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Thanksgiving whole weekend, where we saw some increase in very specific sectors of the economy relating to electronics and those types of items. And of course, we adopted that marketing strategy from the North America strategy of Thanksgiving sales with electronics. And we didn't do too badly with that in terms of the electronics. And then when school closed, we noticed a gradual upward trend of the sales across the board. Of course, some stores would complain that they didn't see any improvement in sales, but sometimes we have to ask the question, the harsh question is that, are we selling the right things that the public wants to buy? Sometimes you may not be offering what the public wants at the point in time. But we have been seeing some increase in sales, and it's a positive outlook. And with just 4 days, I believe, before Christmas, we will be open on Sunday also. We have taken the bold steps to introduce 2 new initiatives to improve business and keeping out our motto of bringing business back to San Fernando. The first being a park and ride system, whereby once you utilize the parking on the wharf next to the hospital entrance, you can utilize a free complimentary air-conditioned shuttle that you can hop on and off throughout downtown San Fernando to do your shopping in comfort and safety. And this operates between the hours of 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday to Saturday, every hour on the hour. And it is very convenient that you hop on at the parkade, and you can stop at various points along High Street, like the corner, Coffee Street, Mucapple Street. When you complete your shopping, you jump back on the next shuttle, go back to the parkade, or you take a further ride up the street or onto another street before heading back to your park and heading home. And of course, the TTPS has given us the assurance that they will be out in full force and additional strength in terms of manpower on the streets and vehicle patrols. And we have noticed that the police have increased their presence. There's a very heavy, noticeable increase of police on the streets as we lead up to the Christmas season. And of course, the second item that we have started, the initiative, is to introduce Sunday shopping on a full-time basis. And the police have also reassured us that they will be out in their numbers over the weekends. We know that they tend to diminish during the weekends, especially Sundays. But they have given the assurance through the ACP and the senior SWIP for South and Central Trinidad that when they toured San Fernando recently with the business community, that they will be offering their full support for customers, business owners, keeping track of any potential bandits and petty criminals that may want to come to interfere with the women, especially. And that we look forward to a very positive Christmas. We remain hopeful that the sales will increase, especially as the government announced that back pay will be coming to public servants. I believe it was yesterday, the last couple of days. So that will certainly cause an increase, a spike in retail sales as we lead up with just a few days remaining before Christmas Day, Kita.
So overall, it has been positive, which is very good to hear. That is actually contrasting the majority of what I've heard and what I've witnessed throughout this period. So it's actually good news. But in terms of your initiatives, is it that we can safely say that business is coming back to Tobago, or we can't say for certain as yet?
But San Fernando, we will certainly remain hopeful that we are seeing some, because there's optimism to look into some increase in sales levels, that we will see some improvement in business. I think it's just a bit too early to proclaim that 2023 is a bad Christmas and sales will not improve. Trainees are very last minute, and again with the influx of the back pay to public servants, we may see an increase in sales just yet. And let's give the proclamations and the judgments after Christmas and Boxing Day, because we have also adopted the Boxing Day sales strategy from North America, where there's a big sales event after the Christmas Day. And let's just wait and see what happens until Boxing Day, and then we can say, compare 2023 Christmas to 2022 and what happened during the year when business was very slow, which we know we started out very slowly. But we also should remember that 2023 is the first calendar year that we have been in operation for a full 12 months without the pandemic, since the WHO declared the pandemic came to a global end. Business has now been able to remain open on a continuous basis, and persons have recovered from their fear of COVID and the psychological impact that goes with these types of diseases and viruses. And we have been able to, I think, better ourselves as a result, and of course improve on our sales as we go towards the end of 2023.
Is the way that shoppers, of which businesses have seen trends in terms of shoppers, activities in terms of consumers, is that shifting, is that changing, or rather, has that shifted or changed? Given, I'm going back to COVID-19 and economic recovery since COVID-19, has all that been where businesses are having to adapt to consumers?
Well, the brick and mortar establishments, of course, face additional competition from online shopping. It's no secret that this avenue for shopping has increased and will continue to increase over the last couple of years, and of course into 2024, where we will see persons continue to utilize their credit cards and online banking to purchase goods directly till they get to their doorsteps. It's a very convenient way of shopping, and that's fine. But we also have a significant percentage of the shopping population that continues to want to feel the product in their hands, whether it's an item of clothing or footwear or accessories, before purchasing it, whether it's a household item or some type of appliance or furniture. And that will continue. We will always want to feel part of the shopping experience at a physical establishment versus the online shopping, which can be very impersonal, not sociable. And Trinidadians like to socialize and be out in the public. They like to walk the streets, especially during Christmas time, feel that breeze and feel the safety, especially in downtown San Fernando, where we have the increased police presence. So the fear of crime has dropped dramatically. And we continue to remain hopeful that our sales will improve because of these factors, Peter.
Now, I will tell you, San Fernando is very much different. Just even walking the streets, talking to the people, there's some sense of hospitality that I don't experience all over Trinidad. You experience that in Tobago. Not offending anyone, people don't take that as an offensive remarks, but the hospitality was so different, and really that is what's going to be a big calling point to Tobago. Tobago, San Fernando, sorry, mixing up in a conversation from earlier. But I want to move forward now to another issue of which has been plaguing consumers and businesses, and it's something that you've also raised and spoken about with, I suppose, great frustration, and those are the delays at the ports with customs and excise. Now, we've heard from the Minister of Finance as per some of the reasons for this slows down, whether it be people breaking into one of the sheds and actually there are now illegal guns and ammunition. That was of interest to international law as well, international police, law enforcement. That's gone missing, they can't track it. However, there have been concerns raised by you in regards to, even if it seems to be though some sort of unfair trading practices. Exactly what are you referring to by that in regards to customers and excise?
Well, some of the reports we got coming into our offices at the San Fernando Chamber were that the customs department and the port management seem to be understaffed coming up to 2023 Christmas season. And we know that Christmas is a fixed calendar date. It happens every year at the same time. And every year, importers, business persons, small traders, even householders have the perennial problem of delays at the port. And we would have expected that these systems would have been improved over time, the efficiencies would have improved. We continue to operate with these inefficiencies that continue to plague us year on year without any solution. And every year there's another issue that causes concern for business persons at the port. Whereas, well, this year we're hearing of staffing problems. Last year was another issue. The year before that was another issue. And unfortunately, that is how it goes. And we need to, as a society and the state agencies responsible for these operations, to improve on these efficiencies so that we can improve the ease of doing business, improve our access to import goods into the country. The majority of goods which we consume in this country is imported from, would be imported. And how do we deal with that aspect of trade if it is being stymied at the port of entry, whether it's Port Lisas or Port Speed? And that continues to plague us, Kitan. And what we need to do is, should we look at extending the hours beyond the typical 8 to 4, operating on weekends? So we heard that there were some increasing, there's some extension of hours during the week on Saturday morning, and that was supposed to alleviate some of the issues, especially with the small traders. But with just a few days to go before Christmas Day, I don't think that what much could be done in such a short space of time for persons to clear whatever goods they have at the ports that are not being allowed access. Well, of course, we understand the logistical challenge with, of course, having to look for illegal goods coming into the country, arms, ammunition, drugs, and whatever sort of illegal substances that persons may want to import. But we should have, in the digital age, improved efficiencies with the scanners, with increased staff, and of course, our abilities would improve, and then we can reduce the time to import the goods, because when we have delays at the port, and it is because there's not enough staff, or there's some issue with clearing the goods, and there's not the fault of the business person, we still have to pay the additional rent, demurrage, transport, overtime labor costs. If it is our fault, certainly we will bear the financial burden, but if it is the fault lies at the hands of the port authority or the personnel in customs, then they should also share in that financial burden and not charge the business owner the additional cost of all these rents and take it upon themselves, so that they will improve on their efficiencies and reduce their cost overruns, while the business community can seek to keep their goods at a favorable price for the consumers at the end of the line, in terms of this, where we get from purchasing to selling, and it doesn't seem to be happening, unfortunately.
Mr. Singh, do you think that, given that these are issues that are faced year after year after year with customs, especially during this period, that this is something that's deliberate?
I wouldn't say it's deliberate. I think we've fallen into the unfortunate trap of this is what happens, and we find ways to deal with it. But is it the best way? We need to have more, I think, functional systems that operates within a fixed time period. For instance, we still have everything that we have to put on our cost sheets. Our expenses has to be paid with cash, either physical cash or checks. We still don't have any system to pay online or use our credit cards or debit cards. So the time it takes to go from one department to another to facilitate the payment transaction also adds up in time. You have to have, if you a sole trader, you have to have someone who will assist you in expediting the payments, or if you're a large conglomerate, you have several of your staff at different points of the chain of where you pay your bills to ensure that the goods are cleared on time. And it shouldn't be like this. We all use, right now we are using technology for this interview. And certainly this technology should be widespread throughout the port and the customs, where at the touch of a button we can expedite these transactions and improve the trade in a much more efficient way than has been transparent for the last several years.
The issue is not the capacity at the ports. The issue is being able to deliver the cargo.
Well, when the cargo arrives on the ships, it is offloaded, and then customs has to take charge to ensure that the goods are not illegal, that the paperwork is in order. The port management also working in partnership with the port management to ensure that the goods are delivered within a 7-day period, or then rent and demurrage starts being applied to whether it's a LCL cargo, less than container, or your pallet or your barrel, or whatever the type of apparatus you use to import your goods, whether you're a small trader or a large trader. And it becomes quite difficult or challenging to understand why the delays happen sometimes, and is it is your personalities that we interact with at the various points of entry, or is it that we need to change, or the culture at the ports of the workers need to be more mindful that the goods come at a cost to whoever is importing the goods. They are not imported for free. There are charges that go with it, and of course, it is to sell to make a profit, and consumers also want to benefit from that at the lowest price possible. And the only way for that to happen is if we improve on the efficiencies of the supply chain of the goods when it gets to the port, and how it leaves the port to get to the destination of the business person or the customer's house front door.
Well, I will admit to you, that I think it's quite frustrating, especially in regards to knowing that there are no online systems in particular for payments. You have to get a certified check if goods are over $5,000. It's amazing that we live in the 21st century, and these are the issues that Trinidad and Tobago, is facing. The ease of doing business is a different topic of which I don't want to get into because I don't want to frustrate you, and it's going to take up a lot of time. But let's speak now of what the Chamber itself is looking forward to in 2024. Different initiatives, different proposals. What is the Chamber really hoping for and wishing for in 2024?
Well, we certainly want to continue the trend of Sunday shopping in downtown San Fernando. We also want to introduce membership cards which provide very favorable discounts to member businesses, and of course the customers will benefit. Whereby you produce your card, your discount card, much like other organizations operate in other jurisdictions, and you avail yourself of a discount instead of having to go to another urban center to purchase your goods or services. You can access it by supporting member businesses within the San Fernando business district, and our businesses will grow as a result of supporting each other as opposed to going outside of our community to support other business people. And we can see business improving, and we continue with the team of bringing business back to San Fernando with that additional alternative, which we intend to roll out early in 2024, hopefully before the end of the first quarter, so we can take advantage of the upcoming Easter sales, and Valentine's Day sales, of course, will be impacted by the Carnival season, which is going to intercept Valentine's Day to a certain extent. But certainly Mother's Day and Father's Day promotions that will come up, we will have that additional facility. And we will also want to see some revamping of the whole vending issue that continues to have a very strong presence in downtown San Fernando, especially as we approach Christmas season. We have been working closely with the mayor that we will find some alternatives for the vendors come January 2024, so that the overcrowding of the streets that impedes on smooth traffic flow and pedestrian utilizing the pavement will no longer be an issue, because the vendors would have a more permanent space. They would be treated more humanely. It's unfortunate that the vendors have to be outside in the sun or rain, literally day in, day out. And of course, that cat and mouse game becomes an issue where the police would be approaching and they would have to hide. And this sort of, I think, behavior has to change, and we need to find somewhere permanent for the vendors. The vendors have been engaging with the business community and, of course, the mayor's office in a very positive way to find alternative solutions as to how they can continue to ply their trade. The business community is not about confrontation, but about we have to work side by side to ensure that they can also prosper. The business community can also be free to engage in their trade instead of some zealous vendors blocking their entrances to their places of business, or preventing trucks that need to offload goods, that need to replenish supplies, need to remove old stock, would have a challenge with being able to stop on the street because of the fact that there's nowhere to stop. If there's an emergency in a store, for instance, how does the ambulance get to that person who needs help? Or God forbid, there's the fire service has to get to a building. How would they get there if it is blocked by these zealous vendors on the street?
Well, Mr. Singh, I'll tell you what, I'm going to take notes of these things because I know that we have many conversations to have in 2024, but in 1 year's time, when I asked you, how is 2024? What's for 2025? Let's hope that the notes that you've pointed out this morning are really adhered to. Mr. Singh, thank you very much for joining me on AM Prime this morning. It has been a pleasure indeed, and thank you again for making yourself available throughout the year. I look forward to further collaborations in 2024. All the best to you and to your membership, and all the best in the year ahead. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Mr. Kiran Singh, the president of the Greater San Fernando Chamber of Commerce, joining me on AM Prime this morning. Lots is to be said, but one can certainly appreciate the level of positivity expressed. And as Mr. Singh mentioned, you know, let's not be too hard and fast to jump to conclusions in regards to the Christmas period. Let's see what happens over the next couple of days, even next week, with the initiatives that the Chamber has put in place. We'll take a break here on the program. When we return, it's Wild Wednesday. Yeah, Wild Wednesday. I wonder what we have today. Well, I could tell you what, when you come back, you're going to see something a bit different. We'll be right back.
Here is the WESN News on the Hour. I am Sira Ali. Thanks for joining us. Here are the headlines. Recruitment of additional officers to take place at the port. 2 private transit sheds at port fall below standards. 3 arrested, firearm, ammo and narcotics seized in North Central Division. And internationally, gas pollution could hit Iceland's capital after a volcano erupted. Now for the details. To address persistent delays in goods and clearance at ports, the Customs and Excise Division is implementing measures, including the recruitment of additional officers and extending working hours until 11 p.m. Minister of Finance, Colum Imbit, shared his information in response to a question from opposition Senator Wade Mark in the Senate. Widespread complaints from businesses across the country highlight the urgency of resolving the ongoing challenges in the goods clearance process. And in other news related to the port, 2 private transit sheds at the port have not been up to standard in terms of their compliance with security systems. This has resulted in some packages being stolen from the warehouse and unable to be located. Imbit said the missing packages are of interest to international law enforcement. It was revealed some of the courier companies have been failing to provide advance information. Imbit claimed the solution to the development. Officers attached to the North Central Division arrested 3 suspects and seized their firearm, ammunition and illegal narcotics during anti-crime eradication exercises yesterday. Between 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. on Monday, 18 December, officers conducted an intelligence-led exercise in the Aruka district. The party of officers proceeded to an open field area at Honey Creeper Drive, Bon Air Gardens, Aruka, where they observed a large group of persons gathered. Upon seeing the officers, the persons gathered ran away and escaped in various directions, both the northern and southern side of the open field, jumping in and out of neighboring yards. The officers conducted inquiries and learned that a music video was being recorded at the said location. Extensive checks were made within the area of the open field, where the officers found a large quantity of contraband, lighters, marijuana, and a tracking device which appears to be a tracker. 1 man was arrested and is assisting police with investigations. PC Slack later discovered a bag containing a rifle outfitted with magazine and 13 rounds of ammunition. The officers also conducted a search of a suspect and found a quantity of cocaine. He was arrested and taken to the Aruka police station. Also, officers proceeded to Deoseran Street relative to a report of larceny. A 46-year-old man was arrested and a stolen cell phone was recovered. Inquiries are ongoing. In international news, gas pollution could hit Iceland's capital after a volcano began erupting late on Monday. The country's meteorological office has said the eruption, which broke out on the Reykjanes Peninsula of southwest Iceland, comes after weeks of intense earthquakes and tremors. Fumes could reach Reykjavik by Tuesday evening or Wednesday morning. About 4,000 people were evacuated last month from Greendot, a fishing town threatened by the lava flow. Well, that's it. News on the hour on WESN. I am Sira Ali. Thank you for watching.
FanZone, your reliable, authentic supplier, has just gotten better. You can now visit our website www.fanzonett.com for your authentic wear and collectibles. The only place where you can use both your Visa debit and credit cards. Visit our website fanzonett.com to make your purchase today.
My name is Carl Media. I am the founder and the host of Ever Increasing Voice Ministries. Join me every Saturday and Sunday on WESN, this powerful station, at 9 a.m. on Saturdays, 1 p.m. and 7 p.m. nightly. Also on Sundays, I'll be on at 7 a.m., 1 p.m. and 7 p.m. at night time. When you come here, we are getting people heavenly ready.
Let the home store turn your house into a home you love. We offer household items, lawn and garden, paint center, hardware, plumbing, lighting and electrical, toys and storage solutions. And just for you this Christmas, come check us out for great gift ideas and all your Christmas decorations.
6 convenient locations: 6th Avenue Barataria, The Falls at West Mall, Pennywise Plaza Chaguanas, C3 Center Branch, Christmas Store at C3 San Fernando, and Eastgate Mall, Trin City.
Check out our Facebook page for more information and come visit us today. The Home Store. Turn your house into a home you love.
Bill and Ruth fell in love with the Benjamin Moore color dry sage, but they tried to match it using another brand's paint.
I mean, it's close enough.
Almost identical, really. Yeah, there it is.
Never trust another paint to be a Benjamin Moore color.
It comes naturally to us. Unstoppable energy. We use it to manifest a future. A future where energy takes new forms and is used in new ways for all of us. The new age of energy is here.
It's Christmas time, and with your family you'll spend every evening watching a movie on WESN. The classics that fill your heart with merriment and cheer as we celebrate together the most wonderful time of the year.
This is my island in December.
This Christmas, WESN celebrates with you as the content capital brings the big screen classics. Gather your family and tune in to WESN from December 1st to 31st at 8 p.m. nightly for We Christmas Movie Classics.
Santa's coming to town! Santa! Oh my God! Santa here? I know him! I know him!
Only on WESN, Content Capital.
Every word, every line, every paragraph depicts a real moment in someone's life. A father, a sister, a mother, a brother. We at Newsday are dedicated to you, the people, and through independent, unwavering journalism, strive to always bring your stories to life. Because your stories are more than just words. Newsday, independent and credible.
Welcome back to AM Prime, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sitting on, you're probably wondering, oh, why is Keaton looking so stiff this morning? Why is Keaton sitting on a couch? Well, it's because it's Wild Wednesday. I don't know how Ricardo got me to agree to this one. But then again, I don't know how he gets me to agree to a lot of the animals he brings on. So thank God he hasn't brought any cockroaches as yet. Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome to the program once more. Why we missed that for? Oh. Ricardo Mead. And our good friend, introduce yourself, my dear.
Oh, my name is Leanne.
Leanne, nice to meet you. And who are these two wonderful creatures that you brought with us? I know what they are. What are their names?
This is Pine and this is Ginger. They are twins, so the names are Pine and Ginger.
Wonderful. Okay, exactly. I don't want to get it confused. I'm going to say pigs, but that might be offensive. So tell me exactly.
Yes, so good morning to everyone. Thank you for having us here again. It's another episode of Wild Wednesday. I think it's our last for the year.
It's our last for the year.
Last Wild Wednesday.
Isn't that
for the
depressing
year.
and sad?
A bit, yeah. So we started off with, according to you guys, a kobo, black vulture, and we end with pigs. But they're not really pigs. They're actually peccary. Colored peccary or wild hog, also known as quank, 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 right? So these are our local guys. Unfortunately, we have more and more animals being imported, smuggled in illegally from Venezuela, and people don't even know the difference anymore. Ours are smaller and a lot cuter. The colored peccary, the ones from Venezuela are the white lip peccary. They're a lot bigger, longer snout, different animal. Same family,
I was just about to say, these animals are quite cute, but not accustomed to what you would see or what people would talk about.
Yeah, many people are getting accustomed to the Veni ones now, and it's quite sad. But these are ours, our local animals, very, very important in our ecosystem, creating the forests that they live in. And people need to know and understand that tremendously. You want to lie down? Good, lie down. There you go. These guys are quite nice, quite socialized for us to be able to bring them out. And, it does a great job with them. And she thinks she's a bit of a lap dog here. You want to touch her? Go ahead.
Sure.
Give a little pet there.
Yeah, of course. Hello.
Again, she only bites on Wednesdays.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So Come on, let's go. Right here.
The Mohawk. The Mohawk.
The Mohawk, yeah, the Mohawk. Yeah,
are we going to get a yawn? Are we going to get another yawn? We missed that earlier. Hello.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, I see it's warming up to you.
Gosh.
There you go. See, it's a good thing you're a vegetarian, eh?
Yeah, I think I'm not going to put my fingers there right now. Maybe.
Right? Yeah, but it's just, these are some of our just amazing animals, and when we go to a display with these animals, I mean, almost none of the animals seem to exist because people have never had a chance to see these animals up close, a chance to touch them, a chance to feed them. and feel the coarseness of their it's almost like a porcupine's spine.
It really is, isn't
coarse.
it?
It's just
Yeah.
amazing animals, and what they do to bring awareness that people are out there killing these animals year round, and soon we will have none in Trinidad at the rate that they're going.
Is that bad?
Well, there's none in Tobago. There are little sightings here and there, but they've basically been declared extirpated. That means they are no longer these animals in any significant quantities to be sustainable in Tobago. So you can't find wild hog in Tobago anymore.
Wow.
So we always say, when we talk about extinction and animals dying out, we always think about the Sumatran rhino, the white rhino, this giraffe. We have animals right here in our country, in our ecosystem, that are being wiped out. And they're amazing animals. Okay? Now, I am not I'm not vegetarian. So I don't have a problem eating meat. In fact, I have to prepare so much meat for my animals on a daily basis. It's just ridiculous how much meat we have to prepare, because the hawks, the owls, the falcons, the monkey, so many animals eat meat. That's just a part of it. But there is something called sustainability, which is something we need to get a good grasp on in this country. Things have to be sustainable, else we're going to lose it. Okay? So you want to hunt, yes, but what are your efforts to preserve what you are actually hunting? If there is no more to hunt, then what are you going to do? Hang up your guns and play hopscotch? So the efforts have to be all wrong, and people, not just the conservationists, the hunters have to become conservationists and manage themselves and people around them to ensure that these animals stick around. So if you're not doing that, then you probably need to put down your guns and try to pick up a breeding program so that we can have these animals in our ecosystem way into the future.
Now, Leanne, you've worked very closely with these animals.
Yes.
And, I mean, they seem very socialized, but out in the wild, I know people hunt them.
Yes.
But what is happening there, as Ricardo was speaking? Are they venturing more and more into urbanized areas? Or is it that they're trying to get as far away from us as possible? We're just going after them.
It's a little of both, because like with more hunters going into their territory, they're either dropping food, then they're following the food trail, and then when people see wild animals, they're first saying, oh, let's feed it, let's take it, let's kill it. So it's hard for them to find a secluded area to live, because everything's being intruded on them. Hunters, or just not tourists, but like locals, just going into their habitats, destroying their habitats, either leaving litter and stuff everywhere. So they never have a safe space anymore. It's hard for them to find their own in the forest. Like no area is quiet enough for them. So that's why they're finding it hard to thrive. Like he said, there's none in Tobago. Like there's no sanctuary for them anymore. So they're trying hard to keep their numbers up in Trinidad, but it's really hard with everybody coming into their habitat, destroying it, hunting them. So, and that's why they'll become so aggressive in the wild, because they're trying to protect what little territory they have. That's why if you see one in the wild, they're not going to be this sweet. They'll be a lot more aggressive. They will defend their territory and their pack, their family, because they live in groups. So, and they all have a particular smell on them, so they will know if you intrude on their space, because each family of quinks always gives off a particular smell on each other.
A unique smell?
Yeah, they have a little scent gland on their back. I don't know if you can see that right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
musket out there, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a little hole on their back, and they will rub on each other, and every Quankini family will have that particular smell.
Yeah.
I probably have that smell with them.
Well, it seems as though you're very much family with them.
Yeah. They will rub on me the same way they rub on each other to release the scent. I get it a lot.
You've certainly made some close family members there. But also, you've really, because of how, calm they are, that relationship that you have with them, that human-animal relationship, is not something that you often see. Did you have to, train these dogs? Were they born in captivity? How did they come into your life?
Well, their mom actually got injured by the group. Sometimes the groups will turn on a mother and kill her babies in order to breed with her again. So that's what happened in their case. They wanted to breed the mom again, but they didn't like the babies. She had them at night, and a fight broke out, and she got injured, so she had to be removed from the group. They were bred in captivity, but they were not tamed in captivity. They were just like, for conservation. They were all together, but they turned on the mom. She got injured, she had to be removed, and then these two had to be removed because the group was trying to attack them. And because the mom was injured, she could not take care of them, so I had to step in and take care of them. So they had to be bottle fed every 2 hours, just like a baby. And with them, because they're so social, you have to interact with them every day to get them this tame or this calm with you. You can't just leave them alone. You have to bring them out, interact with them. That's why kids are allowed to pet them and touch their face and their teeth and everything, and they don't bite. They've had a lot of practice with kids. I've practiced with my niece and nephew who are 2 and 3. And they've been putting their hands in their mouth and everything, and they're really good at it.
So what is that noise that we're hearing from them? That's just, what's that?
It's the teeth.
Yeah.
That's just the teeth hitting.
Yeah,
it's a clank.
You know,
like if you go
communication
with your mouth, they do it as well. Sometimes it shows like curiosity, excitement. Then it could also mean like an aggressive one. They have a different sound for each emotion they go through.
He also seems to be rather, territorial in the sense that he wants to have post Ricardo and
He loves it.
But I've noticed that they have an excellent sense of smell because she's picking all those apples right there.
Yeah, she smelled it. That's why she came down.
So it's good. Just keep your arm open.
Just keep it open like this?
Yeah, let's get it. Look at it. There's food. He's got food. He's got food. Keep it open. And there we go.
She knows not to bite fingers, so even if you stuck your fingers in her mouth, she just spit it out and get the apple.
Really?
Right.
Yeah.
Give it a shot again.
Let's try that again.
Yeah.
Here you go. So you have to go for that one. So, okay, I noticed that you're feeding them apples, but generally, what else do they eat? Are they omnivores, herbivores, carnivores?
A little bit of omnivores, but these guys, they mainly love their fruits and vegetables, but they can eat roots and grubs in the ground.
Yeah.
Like little insects or worms.
So they can source a forage, essentially?
Yes. So they have a strong snout or nose. If you look, it's very tough. So they'll use it to dig in the ground, move the dirt or the soil, get to the roots of like trees or like vegetable roots, and just eat all that in the ground. And then, so besides fruits, they eat vegetables, root vegetables, basically insects,
Good.
And when they dig in the ground, they will find other insects. I know, you want some too.
No, this actually really, as I said, you're not going to see this in the wild. So, we're doing this for educational purposes. We're doing this so that you guys have some level of education and understanding. We're bringing about awareness, we're spreading awareness. But what you're seeing here is not what you're going to experience in the wild. So please, we're very fortunate that we're able to experience this. Don't go and try and hug a peccary in the wild, please. Whatever you may call it, peccary quench, don't go and try and do that. But Ricardo, these are absolutely incredible animals, and it's such a privilege that we're able to even share this experience. But the unfortunate thing is, given the trends and given what you've spoken about, there's a possibility we might not have these creatures with us in the distant future. Well, distant or near, given how things are going.
Yeah, and so again, the word sustainability comes up. Put programs in place where we can preserve our animals. And while people might say they have the same thing in Venezuela, the DNA is going to be different. The animal, the genetic code is going to be different. The stuff from Venezuela is not Trinidadian. We have unique representations of these animals that we have in South America because, again, when Trinidad broke off from Venezuela, the land mammals were not able to integrate and share genetic material. So ours in our little pool would have developed quite differently. That's why so many of our mammals are slightly or sometimes even significantly different. We looked at the southern tamandua, we spoke about monkeys, there's so much. So these could be very different from those. So it would be a very big mistake to bring ones from Venezuela to try and replace what we have here. In other words, we will lose our stuff and replace it with something else. And then that genetic code, that animal will be lost forever.
That is really sad. There seems to be a lack of appreciation for these animals.
Correct. Yeah, they're obviously misunderstood as well. Before working so closely with them, they're actually very intelligent animals, and they have such a sweet nature to them. But obviously, we only see the ones in the wild, and you never get up close and personal with one to really see their features and their personality. But they're highly intelligent. They can understand a few words sometimes. And they're like, they basically can act like this with the right amount of love and attention. But obviously you don't want to do that to ones in the wild. You want to keep them wild. But the ones that rehabilitate, we try to work with them as much as possible so they can still have that interaction and they're just not locked up because they can't be released. You got to work with them.
They can't be released.
No, they can't. They would not know how to survive on their own. I tried reintroducing them to the group at a young age, but they just weren't accepted and they just didn't know how to defend themselves. So I had to...
in the wild, they remain in packs?
Yes, in families, yeah.
In families. I think this is incredible. Now let me speak about a bit of a pet peeve of yours. And that's hunting in TNT. We mentioned this at the beginning. These animals under hunting licenses, they're allowed to be hunted, right? But there are no regulations to actually control how many of these animals are hunted.
There's no bag limits. Nobody controls or regulates your take.
I think you must
So
give me a
if you
kiss.
are a skilled hunter or a lucky hunter and you stumble upon a family group, 13, and you have enough people there with enough guns, you can kill all of them. Mother, baby, you can kill a newborn. You can kill a lactating mother. You can kill a pregnant mother. It does not matter. There are no specific regulations that guide what you should and should not do. And sadly, besides the regulations, the people who claim to be hunters, and they're very few because most people are poachers. Straight up, they're poachers. But the few hunters do not provide enough education for themselves about these animals. All they want to know is the best way to find them and kill them. Okay, should you kill this one? Should you kill that one? Should you be trapping them and determine, okay, this is a mother who's probably lactating, we should leave her alone. Okay, if you do not preserve what you hunt, soon you will have nothing to hunt. It's simple as that. It's the same reason why you cannot hunt deer in Tobago and you can't hunt wild hog in Tobago. There's just none. None.
There's no deer in Tobago either.
No deer in Tobago, no. And they try to reintroduce deer. Maybe one day we'll be lucky. But the deer, the story of the deer, gets me a little, teary-eyed because, of a couple who did a lot for conservation in Trinidad, farming wild animals. And earlier this year, hunters went to their place, fence place, cut the fence, went in there and shot 17 deer.
Yeah.
Killed them and removed them. So it gets me so angry. It gets me so upset that these people are so narrow-minded and so idiotic that they cannot see the benefit. And most people in Trinidad who have had deer in captivity would have gotten from these people. Now that they're elderly and they could hardly do it, basically it was a home invasion. People invaded their homes and killed the animals out. So they're now out of wildlife farming. So another blow to conservation and the efforts to keep these animals alive in Trinidad and Tobago.
Why are these creatures so important to our ecosystem and our environment?
Just by their survival, their existence, what they do. They're grubbing, they're digging into the soil with their noses, they're aerating the soil, they're removing a lot of pests, so that's the nature part of the balance. They're eating a lot of the fruits and vegetables and so on. They're doing seed dispersal. A lot of the seeds pass through their gut. They have a very complicated stomach, but the seeds pass through, and they walk from here, they walk a lot. So they're dispersing the seeds all over the place. These are part of the animals responsible for helping the forest stay the green forest that it is with a lot of diversity. Else we'll end up with just a sort of monoculture in the forest. So they eat seeds here and deposit it there, they eat grasses here and deposit there, just all day long. They're walking. Even when they walk, it's ground, their feet, their toes, create little holes and so on that a little water would store in. And when seeds and so on sit in there now, they have a better place to germinate and so on. It's so diverse what they do in an ecosystem. And sadly to think now, all of that is not happening in Tobago because they are no longer there. And there are no deer also. They also have the same sort. They do almost the same thing as deer, but they do a little more with digging into the soil and so on like that there. So if in 20 years there's a report that comes out and said Tobago's forests are dying, the main ridge isn't as diverse and green, and a lot of plants are disappearing, you'll understand why.
Leanne, this seems to be very personal to you. It seems to really affect you.
Yeah, just because it's just really sad because these are animals that are unique to Trinidad. Like, if we have tourists in the future, they probably will not see them if things keep going the way they are. And then the more their habitat decreases or we encroach on it, the more they will sometimes come into populated areas, and then people will be like, oh, they're pests, they're coming too close to the houses or the kids and stuff like that. if they have nowhere to go, like, what do you expect? And then they get mistreated so badly. People just look at them and they're just like, oh, they're just a dumb pig. They don't know anything. But they're really is a very complex and intelligent creature. But nobody takes the time to really understand our wildlife, especially our local wildlife. There's so much in Trinidad that we have to offer, so many different animals, but nobody really cares. Nobody like takes time to research. Like if I bring them to events, a lot of adults was like, oh, I didn't even know we had these, or that's just thing to kill or eat or put in a pot. Like nobody takes a time to really ask about them, what they do for Trinidad, what they do for the ecosystem. They just see them as food or just a dumb animal. And I think Trinidad needs to get educated a lot more on our local wildlife, how to protect them, how to understand them, so that the younger generation can preserve it. Because I have more kids coming up to me asking questions about them, seeing how they want to be vegan, they don't like eating meat, and the adults are the ones that, oh, just kill it. But the younger kids are now starting to be like, oh no, I can't kill an animal, I'm vegan, or they have much more respect for the animal. So I'm hoping there's hope for the younger generation to respect our animals.
I was just about to ask, how do we save Tobago based off of what Ricardo has, mentioned this morning? Very little to no wild boars, peccaries, squanks, very little. No deer.
Yeah. No deer.
How do you go about now?
Well, they tried before to introduce the white-tailed deer from Florida, and as soon as they were put into the ecosystem, they were killed out. So it has to be much more protection, much more enforcement, and the legislation that goes along with it to ensure that these animals can be reintroduced into the wild and do what they're supposed to do to keep the main ridge, that beautiful space that back in 1775, the British decided it's amazing, we need to preserve
the main
it.
ridge is world famous, and yet there's very little protection there.
Correct.
Yeah.
Which is incredible, isn't it? We tout it. We speak about it all the time.
Right, yeah. It's a reason why so many people come in here on these cruise ships, and yet we're not giving it the protection that it needs. And that is just sad. It's crazy.
I need to change the, there was a tune that came out, Main Ridge, nobody lives there. Yes, there are no deer that lives there.
Right, yeah.
I know, it's so sad, but back to these wonderful creatures. They seem to be so relaxed and happy this morning.
But they love people because they've been around people.
They just seem so relaxed.
People are more what they would consider their family, their pack, because they've been around people so much.
But are is this the biggest they get?
No, they will actually get fatter. Not taller, but they could put on a bit more size. They can weigh between like 30 pounds to 60 pounds. These guys are like 30, 31, so they still have a bit more to go. They're only a little over 2 years. So.
You don't want any more?
Right.
Here you go. There you go. Yeah.
It's like I'm eating it just because you're giving it to me, but I don't really want it.
She doesn't want any more. She doesn't want it. All right, okay. Guys, this has really been an absolute pleasure. I mean, apart from learning so much, I've also seen some really wicked hairstyles this morning. I've got a little more happening. But it's really a privilege that we get to interact with these creatures. So, Ricardo, it's been a wonderful 3-4 months.
Yeah.
We've been able to do a lot. We've been able to bring a lot, educate and inform the public. I can't thank you and the volunteers enough for what you all have done on a Wild Wednesday. 2023 has been, it's challenging year, but the fact that we've been able to do this every single Wednesday, I'm certainly appreciative.
Mr. B, that's great. Thank you guys for the opportunity to do this. Our focus is education, conservation through education. By teaching people, we are reaching people and we're making a difference. And she knows the food is down there and she's like, what is there else for me to get? Yeah. Looking forward, wishing all our viewers, listeners, followers, supporters out there a wonderful, wonderful holiday season, whether you celebrate Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, whatever it is, and look forward to meeting and greeting each and every one of you for 2024. And hopefully we continue this amazing program, Wild Wednesday, here every Wednesday morning, and reach and teach more people to the point where we're going to reach the right people and teach the right people, and they're going to start to make the right decisions to preserve not just wildlife, but
it's like he was giving his grand speech, man. Come on.
Right? So much here in Trinidad and Tobago going forward. He's like, yeah, give me food, give me food, give me food. Yeah. Yeah. You see, yes. You see when you're having pizza and you're grabbing more than your share, and they say, hey, you're behaving like a pig. There you go, right there. But, so you understand where a lot of this comes from. So thank you very much.
No, thank you guys very much. Leon, I mean, thank you so much for bringing.
No
well,
problem.
I mean, I kind of want to keep them here and just have
they would love
play,
that.
yeah, play with them for the because there's absolutely incredible creatures on there. And as you said, they're intelligent. Look at this. I mean, I'm so intrigued alone by the snout,
Yeah.
Yes.
it's just the muscular movements and how tough it is.
It's so hard. Like
Yeah, but I mean, really, thank you for all that you're doing and have done. And I look forward to welcoming you back to Wild Wednesdays in 2024.
Of course, very excited.
Some more cool stuff. And no more food.
I hope you guys come back. Yeah, you guys will come back, won't you?
Once there's food.
Yeah. Once there's food around, she'll be around, right?
No, I've been seeing the same thing for a while. Once WSN has food, I'll be here. But anyway, Ricardo, to you and the rest of the volunteers, have a safe Christmas, an enjoyable Christmas, and all the best heading into 2024. We look forward to Wild Wednesdays in 2024.
Definitely look forward to being here come January.
I'm not no dentist, but I think you have good teeth.
Amazing.
They get regular checkups.
Anyway, guys, yes, Merry Christmas to you too. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, it's been another fantastic Wild Wednesday. Thank you very much for joining us on AM Prime. I think everyone wants to eat some apples now. I think I'm going to join them. But have a great day ahead, a safe day ahead. And we thank all at the El Socorro Center for Wildlife Conservation. And we look forward to Wild Wednesdays in 2024. I'm Keaton Shaw. Bye-bye.
WESN. I'm Andre L. Batiste, and you're watching WESN, the content capital.
It's Christmas time, and with your family you'll spend every evening watching a movie on WESN. The classics that fill your heart with merriment and cheer as we celebrate together the most wonderful time of the year.
This is my island in December.
This Christmas, WESN celebrates with you as the content capital brings the big screen classics. Gather your family and tune in to WESN from December 1st to 31st at 8 p.m. nightly for We Christmas Movie Classics.
Santa's coming to town! Santa! Oh my God! Santa here? I know him! I know him!
Only on WESN, Content Capital.
The issue, the continued rise in the price of flour and its impact on the cost of living in Trinidad and Tobago. How should we go about it? I want to ask you what has been revealed to you about the state of vulnerability in the country because of this exercise and because of what we're going through. Is the government losing the war on the vaccine front?
The discussion should revolve around the common good for the greatest number of people in Trinidad and Tobago.
How do we